receiving students and sixes? Thank you. You may be seated. Quickly, let's recap from our previous lessons. What are some of the properties of polygons? I'd like us to give some of those properties that we learned in our previous lesson. You were doing some activities on those different polygons by identifying the properties. Robert? Loud and clear. Receiving students, you can name some of the properties of those polygons.
Pentagon.
Again?
Pentagon.
Okay, very good. Pentagon. Is pentagon a property or a polygon? Okay, pentagon is a polygon. What can be one property that you can find from a pentagon? Thank you, Robert. He has given us one polygon. Let's work out some of the properties of a pentagon. Lorraine.
Vertices.
Okay, vertices is one of the property of a polygon. Very good. Can we have another property of a polygon? Uvau.
Edges.
Okay, edges. Very good. Let's have another one. Jordan.
Angles.
Okay, very good. Angles. We have angles, vertices, edges. What are the others? Okay, let's have Melissa.
Symmetry.
Okay, symmetry, or to be exact, we say line of symmetry. Let's have the last one. Uvau. Oa. Sorry.
Parallel lines.
Okay, very good. Parallel lines. Okay, those are some of the things that are properties of a polygon. There is still one that we did not made a mention of. What is it? We have vertices or edges. We have line of symmetry, parallel sides. We have the name of the pentagon itself. What else? Okay, I can hear students saying it out. Let's have Madhu.
Angles.
Okay, very good. Angles. So let's have a look at those different properties of polygons that we have covered in our previous lessons. Edges or sides, vertices or corners, angles, line of symmetry, and the parallel sides. Those were the properties of polygons. In today's lesson, we are going to be naming the different types of angles and also learning their properties. What are some of the properties that make up that type of angle? But before we go on to doing that, what do we call these two types of figure that is drawn? Let's have Robert. Come on, you others.
Non-polygon. Non-polygon.
Okay, it is a non-polygon. What do we call these two? Thank you. He has given us, relating back to our previous lesson on polygon, this is an open figure and it is a non-polygon. That is still correct. Let's hear from Victoria.
Sharp angle.
Sharp angle, very good. I will not say the answer is wrong. Still, the word angle is mentioned in there. There's a sharp angle. Maybe she's referring to this corner. Later, we'll go into seeing that. Now, in our previous lesson, when two lines are joined together, what does it form? If you can still remember. when two lines are joined at a point, what does it form? I know you learned this in our previous lesson. Fred.
Incomplete shape.
Okay, incomplete shape is referring to a non-polygon. Thank you, Fred. Let's have Laka. Let's have the last one.
It forms an angle.
Okay, very good. They form an angle. So we have line segments there. We have the sharp corner, like what Victoria has said, is known as a vertex. And when two lines are joined at a point, it forms an angle. So our lesson topic for today is on Introduction to Angles. So our main focus now will be on angles today. So I'd like us to quickly look around the room and try to find some of the things that form an angle in our room or maybe on your desk. Two lines joining together to form an angle. Look around the room and figure out what are some of those angles. It can be along the wall, on your desk. I'd like you to watch very carefully or try to figure out those different angles. Okay, let's have Melissa. Show to the class what is one example that you can see in the room.
The sides of the table.
Okay, very good. Can you show to the class where you can see that angle?
It's the side of the table.
Okay, the side of the table. So this is what Melissa is referring to. She has seen the side corner of this table. So this is the angle that we can see on a table. From this line to this line, this one comes up, it joins up with this. This is an angle. What can be another one? What can be another angle? Come on, you others, receiving students, I hope you are looking around in your room and giving the types of angles that you can see from the real object in your classroom to your teacher. Any others? We have one from the table. Any others? Jason, where can you see an angle?
Exercise book.
Exercise book, very good. You can see an angle on your exercise book. Any others? Let's have the last one, Robert.
Whiteboard. Whiteboard.
The whiteboard. You can see there is an angle here from this end to this end. We have an angle here. When you are sitting down also, you are sitting at an angle using a chair. That chair is in a form of an angle also. So don't forget, class and receiving students, there are so many things that we can see in the room that comes in a form of an angle. In today's lesson, we will be learning the names of those different types of angles. And you will be also doing some as a practice in your exercise book as part of your exercise. Okay, let's have a look at this diagram and try to figure out what are some of the angle or what do we mean by angles. Look at where the red line is. When you look up on the ceiling, you can see there are lines joined together to form an angle. So that is one that is shown from that picture. Where the windows are, you can see the angle is being formed there. And you have another one at the door where the angle can be seen. So these are just some examples that you can also see in our room. When two lines meet across, they form an angle. And you can see as shown from this diagram. Or you can also show that when you are doing little activities, playing sports, you are forming angles using your body parts. Maybe putting your legs, stretching your legs out, or putting your hands in an angle form. Okay, this is a short definition of what an angle is. Angle is formed when two rays meet at a common end point, like what we did or we saw in the recapping part of the exercise. We will now move into seeing those different types of angles. So we shouldn't be doing any writing. Let's now look up on the whiteboard. 60s and receiving students, we are now on the first type of angle. So we should be looking up at this chart that is on the board. The first angle that we know of is a right angle is always 90 degrees. Let's have a look at how we can form a right angle. So you can see from this little cartoon here, it is demonstrating to us how we can form a right angle using our body. Using our two hands, we can form a right angle. And when you are drawing the actual diagram, it should have these two lines drawn at the end, and there's supposed to be a small square. The small square indicates that it is a class, it is a, what is this? Okay, 90, and a small circle. Remember, when we are talking about angles, we have this degree sign, the small circle at the top of the last number in your figure. So this is a diagram of a 90-degree angle, or we can say the proper name is a right angle. So don't forget, a right angle is always how many degrees? 90 degrees. Very good. Let us now look at the second angle. Robert, can you demonstrate to the class what can you see from this angle? Stand up and demonstrate to the class. What can you see? Okay, Robert has used his arms to form an angle. Thank you, Robert. Let's have a look at this very carefully. We can always demonstrate this angle using our body part, like what our friend here has demonstrated. Who can read this angle? Or who would like to read this for us? Samuel? What is this angle here?
Acute angle.
Okay, very good. It's an acute angle. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. We have learned from this one, this is a 90-degree angle or a right angle. An acute angle is in between these two lines, is always acute. When you see angles form from this line, in between this line and this line, it is known as an acute angle. This is an example of an acute angle. Are we following? So if I give you 50 degrees, it is an example of an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees. Don't forget, Acute angle is always less than 90 degrees. Okay, an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. Look at Mr. Obtuse Angle. We have gone past this line going up. Imagine that there is a line going up from these 2 points here, which indicates that it is a right angle. From the description, it is said an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees. The line has gone past. So it is known as an obtuse angle. So don't forget, 60s and receiving students, we are now going through the correct names of the different angles and their properties. Let's move on now to our other angle. You can see that it is just one line, but it is shown with an arrow telling us that it is a straight angle. It is greater than 90. That is one property of a straight angle. And it is always a straight line with a degree sum of 180. So the properties of a straight angle is it has a straight line and the angle is greater than 90 degrees. And its angle is 180. Who can give us the name of this second last angle? Okay, let's have Emmanuel. Can you read what is on this chart?
Reflex angle is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees.
Okay, very good. Reflex angle is greater than 180. It must go beyond this line to show us that it is greater than this. So you can see that it is arrow. So this end to this end shows that it is a reflex angle. As shown from this puppy here, this is a reflex angle. It is greater than 180 but less than 360. And the last angle that I would like you to also know its proper name. I'd like a girl to read this. Let's have Taylor to read what is on the chart.
One revolution angle is a complete turn or one rotation.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Taylor. One revolution angle, this is how it's demonstrated. You start from this line or where 0 is, either one complete turn or we can say one rotation. A good picture would be a wall clock. The wall clock goes right around from 12, goes from 1, and it goes back to 12. That is one revolution or one complete turn. In an angle also, we have such to be displayed or demonstrated. So when you are drawing it as in a diagram form, this line shows that this is where the starting point is. We always start at 0. Complete 10, it comes back to 360. So a complete 10 is always 360 when we are talking about angles. So don't forget about all these different angles that we have gone through and their properties. Each angle have its own property that we can remember and apply when it comes to our exercises. So 60s and receiving students, you have some to do as your practice in your exercise book. Using your pencil and your ruler, and also our different angles that are on the chart, I'd like you now to draw diagrams to show these angles and write the name of the type of angle given. You have 50 degrees. Draw an angle that will show a 50 degree, 99 degree, 180, 270, 90 degree, and 360 degree. I'd like you to draw that neatly in your book. Don't forget to refer back to the different angles that we have gone through as our main part of the lesson. Do write the names correctly also. Okay, you may start. Receiving students, we are now working on our exercise. You are to draw the different angles. The figures are given. I'd like you to draw those different angles in your exercise books. Just a reminder, the little square will only come in a right angle, not in all the angles. The other angles, you will include an arrow to show that this is an angle. Right angle has a square. You can discuss in your group how you are going to draw those angles. You're going to draw your way is 50 from the property there. Where is 50 degrees. A right angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. This is where 0 is, and this is where 90 is. So 50 would be somewhere in between this line. And then you draw your angle. You get the picture there.
you draw in your 90 degrees. You draw your 90 degrees and then you try to work out where is 90 degrees in between the right angle, as well as this one here. You have 90 degrees. This one is far away from 90. Where 90 is, you will just count only how many lines, and then this is where 99 is. You get the picture? Okay, where's your first diagram? Where did you draw your first diagram? Or what are you saying? Okay, you have drawn these angles inside and their properties. Okay, when you want to draw the first one, how are you going to draw your? Where is 50 from the property there? Where is 50? 50 degrees. A right angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. This is where 0 is, and this is where 90 is. So 50 would be somewhere in between this line. And then you draw your angle. You get the picture there. Or what are you saying? Okay, you have drawn these angles inside and their properties. Okay, when you want to draw the first one, how are you going to draw your? Where is 50 from the property there? Where is 50? 50 degrees. A right angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. This is where 0 is, and this is where 90 is. So 50 would be somewhere in between this line. And then you draw your angle. Or what are you saying? Okay, you have drawn these angles inside and their properties. Okay, when you want to draw the first one, how are you going to draw your? Where is 50 from the property there? Where is 50? 50 degrees. A right angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. This is 0 is, and this is where 90 is. So 50 would be somewhere in between this line. And then you draw your angle. You get the picture there. Or what are you saying? Okay, you have drawn these angles inside and their properties. Okay, when you want to draw the first one, how are you going to draw your? Where is 50 from the property there? Where is 50? 50 degrees. A right angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. This is where 0 is, and this is where 90 is. So 50 would be somewhere in between this line. And then you draw your angle. You get the picture there.
I will stop you very shortly and we will correct 2 of the exercises. The other 3 I will ask the teacher to correct your students' work. I will also do the same with the model class to collect their books and check their work. Okay, let's have Ova to draw the first one. Ova. Let's look up now on the whiteboard and see how Ova have drawn his 50-degree angle. What is the name of that angle that you have just drawn, Oa? Loud and clear?
Acute angle.
Okay, very good. Oa has drawn this 50-degree angle on the board, and he has found out that the proper name of that angle is an acute angle. Now, Oa, why did you say it is an acute angle?
Because acute angle is less than 90 degree.
Okay, well done. Let's give him 5 big claps. Okay, because acute angle is always less than 90 degrees. He is correct by saying that. Let's move on now to exercise 1B. 99 degrees. 99 degrees. Receiving students, we are now correcting exercise 1B. So if you have completed that exercise, you can go up the blackboard and draw that particular angle in. 6 is, let's have the volunteer to do that. Lorraine? You others should be comparing your answers with the ones that are being displayed on the whiteboard.
One revolution.
Okay, thank you, Lorraine. Can you explain to the class why you came up with that particular angle?
Because it is greater than 90 degrees and is always 180 degrees.
Come again, Lorraine.
Because it's greater than 90 degrees and always 180 degrees.
Okay, I can see faces that are not happy with the answer. They are disagreeing with what you are saying. Who would like to help Lorraine? She has come up with the correct angle and also the correct name. But one part of the description is not in line with what she has come up with, the angle name. Thank you, Lorraine. Would you like to correct yourself? Okay, good.
Because it is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees.
Okay, very good. We must always remember that an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees, like what is shown on the diagram, and is less than, but it is less than 180 degrees, which is a straight line. So don't forget, 6Cs and receiving students, your correct angles and the correct names to the 2 angles are, the first one is shown there, 50 degrees, and it is known as an acute angle for A, and B is 99 degrees, which is an obtuse angle. So don't forget, 6Cs and receiving students, these are the answers to those 2 exercises. The others, I'd like the receiving teacher to collect the students' work and check through to see that they have completed those exercises. With that, we will now move on to our summary point for today. Okay, our summary points are now on the PowerPoint. Quickly copy those into your exercise book. now move on to our key phrase for today's lesson. It's on discovering angles. To the receiving teacher, our next lesson topic is on sizes of angles. Materials needed for the lesson are protractors, crayons, color markers, pencil, rulers. You are also asked to draw 6 angles that are now on the screen: an acute angle, an obtuse angle, right angle, straight angle, reflex angle, and 1 revolution angle. So these are the 6 angles that you need to prepare for your next lesson topic. With that, 60 and receiving students, we have come to the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for your participation.